On September 12, 2025, a monumental event in the history of astronomy occurred. Astronomers worldwide were left stunned as they detected an object of unprecedented size and brightness blazing its way through the darkness of deep space, leaving a trail 5 times the width of a full moon. This colossal object, now officially catalogued as C-2025, FAR-2, but more commonly known as SWAN, was unlike anything ever recorded in the annals of astronomy. The timing of SWAN's arrival was nothing short of bizarre, as another object, the already infamous 3 Atlas, was also en route, racing towards the Sun from the exact opposite direction of the sky. Both were set to reach their closest approach to the Sun within the same 10-day window, hidden by the solar glare during their most critical moments, and both displaying anomalies that defy the laws of nature. The odds of such a cosmic double entry happening by chance are so vanishingly small that some scientists have stopped calling this coincidence and started whispering the word mission. If one interstellar object was strange enough, then the arrival of a second 100 times larger targeting the same solar corridor suggests we may not be witnessing accidents of astronomy at all. We may be watching an operation. As data poured in, what first stood out about SWAN wasn't just its size, but its behavior. Unlike typical comets which scatter light in predictable patterns, SWAN's reflective properties showed metallic signatures, hints of nickel and cobalt, the same materials we humans use to forge durable alloys and protect against corrosion. Some researchers began calling it the Fortress. Because while most comets break apart under the stress of the Sun, this one seemed shielded, armored, even, maintaining a brightness curve far beyond what natural ice and dust could explain. And its tail, already record-breaking in length, did not behave like chaotic vapor, but pulsed with subtle rhythmic changes, as if controlled microthrusts were guiding its motion. Imagine watching a skyscraperized tank drift through space, cloaked in a shimmering halo that might not just be gas, but an electromagnetic shield deflecting the fury of solar winds. That is the image scientists are now grappling with. But even more unsettling than its scale is its timing. Because while SWAN looms as a fortress, its smaller counterpart, 3 Atlas, behaves like a drone, agile, erratic, with strange bursts of acceleration and tail color shifts that no natural process can fully explain. Together, they don't look like random visitors. They look like pieces of the same puzzle, 2 parts of a system converging on the Sun at the same time, hidden from us during the very days when their true purpose might be revealed. When astronomers plot the arrival vectors of SWAN and Atlas on a star map, something extraordinary emerges. SWAN comes from Aquarius, Atlas from Sagittarius. 2 origins separated by more than a quarter of the entire celestial sphere. Yet, despite their radically different approach angles, they both cross into the inner solar system at nearly the same solar distance, reaching perihelion within just 3 days of each other. Statistically, this kind of synchrony is impossible. Random comets scatter their arrivals across decades, sometimes centuries, but never like this. And then comes the blackout. From October 8 to October 18, the Sun's glare blinds our telescopes, creating a window where neither SWAN nor Atlas can be directly observed. The result, their closest approach to the Sun and to each other happens at the exact moment when Earth's instruments are unable to see. To many, this looks less like coincidence and more like coordination, as if their paths were deliberately engineered to meet under the cover of solar interference. If SWAN and Atlas are converging for a purpose, then the real question isn't just what they are, but why they're here now. And if their meeting was engineered, then humanity has already stumbled into the middle of a mission we were never meant to witness. As telescopes tracked 3 Atlas, something unusual emerged. Its tail wasn't just glowing. It was changing in a way that seemed deliberate. Over a span of weeks, 3 sudden accelerations were recorded, each one sharp and unexpected, spaced almost like clockwork, and each coinciding with a strange color shift in the tail. Natural outgassing from comets happens gradually, driven by the Sun's heat. But what Atlas displayed was abrupt, rhythmic, and controlled. Energy estimates suggested the power required for each thrust was equivalent to 10 nuclear plants working at full capacity. For a chunk of ice and dust, that should have been impossible. For a machine, It would make sense. Meanwhile, Swan's massive structure mirrored this behavior at an even larger scale. Its gigantic tail wasn't chaotic, but pulsed with micro-bursts that nudged it subtly, like course corrections made with precision. Both objects, one small and agile, the other vast and unstoppable, seemed to be maneuvering within the solar system, not as wanderers, but as participants in a plan. And the chilling part was this: their thrusts weren't random. They appeared synchronized. Orbital dynamics are the one thing astronomers trust to reveal truth. But here, the truth is unsettling. Swan and Atlas, though arriving from completely different directions in the galaxy, lined up to occupy the same narrow corridor of space and time. Their perihelion points, those closest brushes with the Sun, ended up only 50 million kilometers apart, a distance smaller than the gap between Earth and Mars. Their timings within 3 days, and all of this unfolding during the exact solar blackout window when Earth-based telescopes were blinded by glare. For comet watchers used to centuries of data, this is unprecedented. Normally, interstellar visitors appear sporadically, sometimes decades apart, their orbits scattered across time and space. But here we have two anomalies intersecting the same corridor in synchrony, as if both were guided by a schedule, a clock ticking on a scale beyond human comprehension. It's as though the Sun isn't just a gravitational center, but a rendezvous point, a meeting hub for missions we're only beginning to notice. When chance breaks down, design rises as the only explanation left on the table. And now, even the most cautious voices in astronomy admit, this looks engineered. When scientists compared the energy outputs of the two objects, disbelief turned into dread. Atlas with its sudden thrusts radiated bursts equal to 10 GW, enough to power major cities. But Swan, its sustained luminosity implied an energy output of 10,000 GeV more than the entire Earth generates. That scale of energy cannot be reconciled with natural processes. Comets, sublimities, asteroids reflect sunlight. But nothing sustained such stable, immense power without collapsing. Theories began to swirl. Was Swan harvesting solar energy using the Sun itself as a colossal recharge station? Was its enormous metallic hull designed to capture radiation and convert it into propulsion? Some fringe researchers even argued it wasn't a comet at all, but a fortress-like construct, its vast glowing tail a byproduct of plasma shielding. The most haunting possibility that its energy wasn't for travel at all, but for communication, a beacon broadcasting not to Earth, but to somewhere far beyond. Its pulsing emissions carrying data across the void. If that's true, then Swan isn't just visiting, it's reporting, and we are not the intended audience.